You've likely been told that manifesting your ideal life is a complex, demanding process, one filled with strict routines, meticulous visualizations, perfectly phrased affirmations, and constant effort to raise your vibration. But what if the truth is much simpler? So simple, in fact, that it slips right through most people's fingers. The concept of quantum manifestation is not about force or obsession. It's about resonance, the elegant, natural alignment between your internal state and the infinite potentials that already exist in the quantum field around you. Yes, you are already inside that field right now, a boundless web of possibilities where all versions of reality exist simultaneously. But here's the twist. The field doesn't respond to your willpower. It responds to your state of being. Not what you want, not what you beg for, but what you are. And this is where most people get stuck. They approach manifestation as a fight, like they have to overpower their current circumstances with relentless affirmations or forced positivity. They repeat phrases they don't truly believe, imagine outcomes they secretly doubt, and wear a smile while their bodies still hum with anxiety, fear, or lack. But in the quantum world, forcing is resistance. Pushing equals distortion. The more you chase, the more you signal that what you desire is not here. And the field listens, not to your words, but to your coherence. So let's reframe the idea entirely. Manifestation is not about getting something from the outside world. It's about collapsing into the version of reality where what you desire is already true. You don't bring the dream to you through effort. You bring yourself into alignment with the version of you who already lives it. In the quantum field, every potential already exists. Wealth and poverty, love and isolation, health and illness. These outcomes aren't created from scratch. They are already encoded in the field as waves of probability. But those waves don't materialize into reality until they meet something powerful, a coherent observer. That observer is you. But it's not just your thoughts. It's your attention, your emotions, your somatic state. All of these send out a vibrational signature. They sculpt the wave into the form you experience as reality. Most people are unconsciously observing from lack. They're focused on what's missing. They're embodying the frequency of scarcity while mentally asking for abundance. And in the language of energy, that's not a signal. That's static. You were taught to chase your goals, but the real shift happens when you stop chasing and start becoming. You're not here to force things into existence. You're here to remember you are already entangled, because surrender feels like losing control, because letting go feels like giving up. But in the quantum model, letting go is precisely what creates magnetism. Let's break it down with a real example. Think back to a moment when something happened effortlessly, when the right person crossed your path at the perfect time, or an idea sparked out of nowhere, or an opportunity landed in your lap when you weren't even looking. What was the common thread? You weren't clenching. You weren't overthinking. You weren't in resistance. You were open. You were present. You were available. That's alignment. That's manifestation without trying. The quantum doesn't care how many affirmations you repeat. It cares how regulated your nervous system is. You can say, "I am abundant," 1,000 times, but if your gut is tight, your breath is shallow, and your mind is looping on fear, the field hears the truth beneath the words. And the field always responds with precision. So here's the fundamental shift. Stop trying to manifest with thought alone. Start becoming a clear, embodied signal of the reality you wish to experience.
Let's go deeper. The quantum field isn't listening to the words you say. It's reading the harmony or disharmony of your system. It mirrors back your internal state with ruthless precision, not as punishment, but as response. A mirror doesn't lie, it simply reflects. This is where most manifestation teachings fall short. They ask you to think positive, to visualize your dream life, to repeat powerful affirmations. But they skip a crucial step: coherence. You can think one thing, feel another, and act from a third. And the result? A scrambled signal, confusion, mixed messages. The quantum doesn't know what to reflect because you are not sending a unified broadcast. And here's the truth most avoid. The quantum field is not manipulated through thought alone. It is activated through alignment, an integration of thought, feeling, and embodiment. That's where the observer effect becomes essential. In quantum physics, particles remain in a state of pure potential, waves, until they are observed. The moment focused awareness enters, the wave collapses into a solid form, a choice, a result, a fixed reality. You are the observer, but not just with your conscious mind. Your subconscious mind is an even more powerful observer, silently collapsing waves every second of your life. This means that even if you consciously desire abundance, if your subconscious is wired for fear, struggle, or rejection, the field picks up that signal instead. And so, outcomes repeat, timelines loop, and you wonder why you feel stuck. It's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because your system is out of sync. Scientists like Dr. Joe Dispenza and Dr. Bruce Lipton have shown us something remarkable: that the heart has an electromagnetic field far more powerful than the brain. Your heart is not just an organ. It is a resonance engine. It is a transmitter of vibrational truth. When your heart and brain are in coherence, you send out a clear, unified signal. When they're fragmented, your frequency becomes noise. That's why trying to manifest from the head, with no emotion, no felt sense, often leads nowhere. The field doesn't respond to your logic. It responds to your vibration. To truly manifest, you must tune the whole system: your thoughts, your breath, your body, your beliefs, your energy. This is not about a one-time ritual. It's a lifestyle of energetic integrity. Let's get practical. Imagine you want to manifest love. You script affirmations, you visualize your perfect relationship. You create a vision board. But deep down, you carry beliefs that you are unworthy. Your nervous system is hyper-alert, bracing for abandonment. Your heart is armored from past pain. What will the field respond to? Not the vision board, not the affirmations, but the deep frequency of mistrust, pain, and guardedness. And so you attract almost love. Unstable connections. Moments that echo the very wounds you haven't yet healed, not because you're broken, but because the field is honest. It reflects what is active in your system, not what is ideal in your mind. So what's the shift? It's not about performing worthiness. It's about embodying coherence. To manifest love, you must first be love. To receive abundance, you must first feel like enough. To attract health, you must honor your body as already whole, even as it heals. And here lies the paradox. The moment you stop needing it so desperately, it shows up faster, not because you've tricked the universe, but because you finally stopped broadcasting resistance. Here's where we must confront a hard truth. The reason most people fail to manifest their desires isn't because they're not trying hard enough. It's because they're trying too hard, and from the wrong place. We've been conditioned to believe that effort equals worth, that the more we strive, the more we deserve, that if we just work harder, think more positively, hustle longer, stay endlessly productive, we'll finally earn what we want. But quantum manifestation doesn't reward struggle. It responds to resonance. And the energy of control, of needing, of monitoring, of pushing, is an energy of lack. It says to the field, "This isn't here yet. I don't trust it. I must force it." So the field reflects that very message. More waiting, more distance, more misalignment. This is what I call the control trap. You visualize wealth, then check your bank account with anxiety 10 times a day. You affirm love, then obsess over every dating app match. You script about health, but constantly scan your body for what's still wrong. In all of this, you're not broadcasting faith. You're broadcasting fear. You're affirming it's not here. And so, it remains just out of reach. Why does this matter? Because the quantum field doesn't speak your language. It speaks the language of energy. And energy doesn't lie. You can say all the right words, read all the right books, do all the right rituals. But if your nervous system is in survival mode, if your body is tense with doubt, if your mind is looping in worry, that is what the field responds to. And this is why so many people feel like they're doing everything right and still not getting results. They are mentally aligned, but energetically fragmented. Let's go deeper. Your subconscious mind controls around 95% of your daily life. It governs your automatic thoughts, your habits, your identity, your emotional reflexes. So even if you consciously want transformation, if your subconscious is still rooted in old stories, "I'm not good enough. Nothing ever works for me. I have to suffer to succeed," then the field mirrors those deeper, hidden beliefs. And this is why traditional manifestation techniques often feel hollow. Because affirmations without regulation don't shift your reality. Visualizations without nervous system safety won't last. Action without identity shift leads to exhaustion. Quantum manifestation isn't an extra task you add to your to-do list. It's a repatterning of your entire system. A return to the version of you who already lives inside the timeline you desire. This version of you isn't waiting for external proof. They walk in alignment before the evidence appears. For example, if you want to manifest abundance, you treat yourself like someone who is already abundant. You act from sufficiency. You move with generosity. You let go of micromanaging every outcome because abundance doesn't chase. It trusts. If you want love, you become a safe, loving space for yourself first. You drop the masks. You soften. You stop proving and start allowing. If you want health, you stop obsessing over symptoms. You speak kindly to your body. You make choices from love, not punishment. You shift from surviving to thriving. And here's the miracle. When you no longer grip so tightly, the universe responds with speed and elegance. Not because you're being tested, but because you've become a match. So here's the question to reflect on right now. Where in your life are you still clenching the wheel? Where are you over-managing, over-measuring, over-controlling? And what would shift if you loosened your grip? Even just 10%. Pause with that. Because the most powerful manifestation happens not when you do more, but when you shift from control to co-creation. Let's bring this back to something practical. If coherence is the key to quantum manifestation, then emotional regulation is the door that opens it. Because here's another common myth, that you must feel good all the time to manifest. That's not only untrue, it's harmful. Manifestation isn't about fake positivity. It's not about suppressing fear or ignoring pain. It's about developing the capacity to meet every emotional state and return to alignment from a place of awareness. Real power lies in how you regulate, not how you pretend. You will wobble. You'll have moments of doubt. You'll fall into old thought loops, feel triggered, feel small. That's not failure, that's being human. The shift happens when you no longer shame yourself for the wobble, but instead ask, how quickly and gently can I return to coherence? Because it's not about perfection, it's about presence. Presence with your breath, presence with your emotions, presence with your nervous system. Let me offer a few simple practices. When you feel overwhelmed, pause and take 3 deep, conscious breaths. When fear arises, place your hand over your heart and say internally, I'm safe to feel this. When scarcity creeps in, look around and find one thing to be grateful for, even something small. A warm cup, a sunrise, a heartbeat. These aren't spiritual bypasses. They are anchors. They remind the body that it doesn't need to spiral. They train the system to hold more energy, more trust, more possibility. And here's a powerful reframe. You don't need to become perfect to manifest. You need to become congruent. Congruence happens when your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions all point in the same direction. It's when you stop saying, I am abundant, while vibrating fear. It's when your body, mind, and choices all say the same thing. I am ready. I am open. I am available. When you reach that state, even briefly, something shifts in the field. Reality bends, timelines accelerate, the unseen begins to crystallize. Here's how to practice congruence in real life. If you desire abundance, give, not just money. Give attention, presence, kindness. If you want love, risk being vulnerable. Let yourself be seen, even when it's uncomfortable. If you want health, act as someone who cherishes their body. Not in punishment, but in reverence. This is how you lead with being, not waiting. And this brings us to one of the most misunderstood aspects of manifestation. It's not about always feeling amazing. It's about learning how to return when you fall. That return, that reconnection, is what builds trust. With your body, with the field, with life itself. So here's your check-in for right now. Take a slow breath. Ask yourself, what frequency am I tuned into in this moment? Is it fear or trust, lack or sufficiency, grasping or allowing? No judgment, just awareness. Because the moment you become aware, you're no longer on autopilot. You are back in the seat of the observer, And from that place, choice becomes available again. Choice is the quantum key. It's the pivot point between repeating the old and stepping into the new. Here's something no one talks about often enough. You don't manifest what you want. You manifest what you are. This isn't just a poetic idea. It's a fundamental law of the quantum field. Your external reality is not shaped by wishful thinking or Pinterest-perfect affirmations. It's shaped by the energetic frequency you hold in every moment. Not once in a while, not only during rituals, but continuously in how you breathe, think, speak, move, and feel. Think of yourself as a radio tower. If you want to hear jazz, you can't stay tuned to a heavy metal station and demand the sound to change. You must turn the dial. Likewise, if you want to experience abundance, you must become the signal of abundance. If you want to live in love, you must embody the resonance of love. You cannot vibrate in the frequency of survival and expect to receive what only flows through trust. So how do you change your frequency? You begin by becoming intimate with your current one. Observe your day not through judgment, but curiosity. How does your body respond to stress? How do you speak to yourself when no one's listening? What are the emotional flavors that color your routine? Most people are manifesting by default, unconsciously recycling the same loops of fear, tension, and disconnection. And the field, ever honest, reflects that back as more of the same. The shift happens when you begin to interrupt the loop, not with force, but with small, embodied pivots. When anxiety rises, take a conscious breath instead of spiraling. When doubt whispers, place a hand on your chest and anchor yourself in presence. When you're tempted to chase, ask, what would the version of me who already has it do right now? And then act from that place, calmly, intentionally, without grasping. You don't need to fake perfection. The quantum doesn't need you flawless. It needs you coherent. Coherence is when your whole system hums in harmony. Your thoughts match your feelings. Your feelings align with your choices. Your choices support your identity. Even brief moments of coherence carry immense power. They collapse timelines faster than any frantic effort ever could. Let's make this even more real. If you want to live as someone abundant, practice generosity. It doesn't need to be financial. Be generous with time, with listening, with energy. Train your system to feel the sensation of, I have enough, even when your outer world hasn't caught up yet. If you want to embody love, practice vulnerability. Let others see you, not the curated version, but the truthful one. Open your heart in small, courageous ways. Be the safe space you long to find. If you want to embody health, treat your body as an ally, not an enemy. Move it with love. Feed it with presence. Rest it with trust. Not because it's broken, but because it's sacred. The quantum field listens to the quality of your being. And the more consistently you lead with energy over effort, the faster it begins to reconfigure itself around you. But there's one more piece, and it's often overlooked. Your environment matters. We are relational beings. We co-regulate with the people, media, and spaces around us. If you constantly surround yourself with energy that contradicts the timeline you're choosing, chaos, drama, scarcity, cynicism, then your nervous system will struggle to stabilize. That's why curating your environment is an act of manifestation. Choose people, voices, and communities that reflect where you're going, not just where you've been. Let your space, physical, digital, emotional, support your alignment. Because coherence is not just internal, it's also relational. When your field is surrounded by coherence, it becomes easier to hold. When others are aligned, your system entrains to that rhythm. That's not dependency. That's energetic intelligence. So here's a simple question. Who and what is reinforcing the timeline you're choosing to live in? And what are you ready to let go of, not in resentment, but in reverence for what you're stepping into? Let's complete the loop. So many people treat manifestation like a finish line, something to reach, conquer, or master. But the truth is, there's no finish line. Manifestation isn't a one-time achievement. It's not a skill you learn and then forget. It's a living practice, a choice you return to moment by moment. The most powerful manifestors aren't those who have the most rituals, vision boards, or techniques. They're the ones who've learned how to stabilize their frequency, especially when the outer world hasn't caught up yet. Because here's the real test of mastery. Can you hold the vibration of "it's already done," even when nothing around you has changed? Can you stay in alignment with your chosen timeline, even when fear knocks, when doubt whispers, when the old identity tries to pull you back? This is where embodiment becomes non-negotiable. Embodiment means your body is on board with your intention. It means you're no longer just thinking differently. You're living differently. You walk, speak, breathe, and decide from the version of you who already is what they used to want. Let's ground that in practice. Each morning, before the noise of the world rushes in, ask, what frequency am I choosing to lead with today? Trust or control, flow or force, expansion or contraction. Throughout the day, use your body as a compass. It will tell you when you've slipped out of alignment. You'll feel it as tension, as fatigue, as resistance. And when that happens, don't shame yourself. Don't spiral. Just notice. Breathe. Realign. Ask this one powerful question. What would the version of me who's already living that reality choose right now? Then take one small action from that place. Just one. That's enough to shift the signal. At night, reflect not with guilt, but with gratitude. Ask, where did I align today? Where did I wobble and return? Where did I glimpse the future I'm becoming? Because that reflection amplifies coherence. It shows your system that, yes, you're becoming someone new, and that matters, even if no one else can see it yet. And now, one final truth. You were never separate from the field. You were never trying to get something from outside of you. You are entangled with the field. You are the field. You are the signal. You are the observer and the observed. The vibration and the result. The creator and the creation. So when you tune your frequency, you're not begging life to meet you. You're becoming the version of life you've always carried within you. Let me leave you with this. Right now, in this moment, choose a word, a frequency, a signal. One word that represents the energy you're ready to embody. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Maybe it's trust. Maybe it's ease. Maybe it's wholeness, clarity, freedom, or something only your soul knows. Whatever it is, speak it, write it, anchor it. Because the moment you declare it, the field begins to respond. And if this message stirred something in you, if it reminded you of something you already knew deep down, then hold on to that. This isn't just a video. This is a mirror, a resonance, a moment of coherence shared across space and time. And as you continue walking your path, just remember, you don't have to fight for your future. You simply have to align with it. Moment by moment, breath by breath, signal by signal. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for choosing to play in the quantum. Keep tuning, keep trusting, keep becoming.